welcome. Thank you for joining us here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon as your Lancers take on the East Los Angeles College Huskies and the newly minted kings of the north of the SCC, the Pasadena City Lancers, actually come into this as the rubber match, surviving 9-7 in the last time out. And starting it off for ELAC will be Ruben Hernandez, sophomore out of Walnut, hitting .375. On the hill for the Lancers will be Austin Ruiz, who went 3 innings in his last outing, and here's the pitch. Starts off up and away, ball 1 to the left-handed hitting Hernandez. And this is going to be a very interesting outing for Ruiz. Foul ball for strike 1 here, evens it up. As the Lancers are going to need him to give them some length, as his last game was a bullpen effort in which they utilized 5 different pitchers, mostly Lorenz, who went 5 innings in relief. Here he comes set for the third pitch of the at-bat. And that is poked off to the left side and foul. Count is now 1-2. Across the diamond for the Lancers at first base is Vic Cepeda. Playing second today is Ryan Lewis. Jake Sanchez at short. And Marco Martinez is your third baseman, with Cole Pilar calling the balls and strikes for the Lancers at catcher. And here's the pitch. Outside, low and away for ball 2. Count is 2-2. And we're here at Jackie Robinson Field of Brookside Park. Plenty of atmosphere around here. And again, Hernandez is hitting .393 on the season, 4 RBIs with 11 runs scored. And that's another pop-up off and to the left. Definitely the type of leadoff hitter you want in the lineup. Battle and push the pitch count early. That way the rest of the lineup gets to see what the pitcher has on any given day. And it's surprising, though, that the last game was 9-7 with the usually light-hitting ELAC. And it's going to be a ground ball to second base. Lewis has it easy. Flips it over to Cepeda for the first out of the inning. And there you go. Nice and easy start. You always want to have that first touch of the game be a solid one. And now coming up for the Huskies, third baseman Andy Rodriguez, sophomore out of Walnut, hitting .369 with 20 RBIs. And as you notice, you can tell Austin Ruiz is generally a relief pitcher as he comes set, and here's the pitch. Most times, starters will go through a full windup. As you can see, Ruiz comes set as if runners are on base, but nobody's on base here. The right-handed Rodriguez takes that first ball for a strike. And that is poked to right. Going back on it and has it is the right fielder, Frank Yokas. Also, another good thing is there's going to be some lineup changes for the Lancers in this game that are generally not out there. Now coming up for ELAC is the pitcher for today's game, Villagran, at a San Fernando High School in Burbank. He's does it all pretty much for the Huskies here.
Nice pitch.
It's definitely the way you want to start, with a first pitch strike here. First occurrence for Ruiz in today's game. As I said, Steven Villagran is going to be also the pitcher, and he's also the 3-place hitter for the Huskies. Fouls that one off to the right and off the light scansion. No bonus points for that, but we now have 0-2 here. And Ruiz is looking to put him away. Always when you have an 0-2 count, it's always up on the pitcher's mind. Do you waste one of you to go right after him? So he's set, and here comes the pitch. Oh, slow off-speed pitch, gets him way out in front, fouls it off. Count is still 0-2 with 2 outs here, as Ruiz tries to get the Lancers into the dugout so they can start swinging them sticks. Looking for the sign, and he has the one he wants. He comes set, and here's the pitch. Up and away, ball 1. It's 1-2 now. Nobody on here in the early going. Ruiz steps off after peering in for the sign. Did not get the one he wanted. It's a rare start for Ruiz, who has 6 innings on the season, 3 of which came in his last outing. And he evens up the count up and nowhere near the strike zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the early going of the first inning. And you're watching PCC TV, your home for Lancer Sports on YouTube. Ruiz comes set. Could this be the payoff pitch? And frames it on the inner half for strike 3 looking. And that'll do it for the Huskies in the first part of the first inning. Coming up for your Huskies is going to be Arellano, Pilar, and Martinez as they look to jump out early on the Huskies, which this next inning may take a little bit of time as Villagrán has to get back to the dugout, get his stuff, and back out to the hill. And Steve Villagrán has 46 strikeouts on the season, 58 innings of work with an ERA of 2.31. Definitely a do-it-all type of player, a bit of a throwback for ELAC. But as looking over their roster, there's quite a few players on their roster. Both play the field and pitch on a regular basis. The slender Villagrán has a quick delivery and looks to be pretty fluid and work up and down in the zone. Six foot, 165 pounds. Generally plays in center field. You can already expect with the body type and the manner in which he throws, it's going to be a fastball slider combination, and maybe if he's got some maturity behind him, a changeup. But for the most part, look for it to be up and down and slicing with anything with a break. And defensively, the Huskies will line up with Troy Mackie at first. At second base is Anthony Soto. Shortstop for this afternoon will be Brandon Hernandez. Third base will be manned by Andy Rodriguez. At catcher, Matthew Wells. The outfield left to right will be Daniel De La Pena. Ruben Hernandez is in right. And we will get you the center fielder as soon as we know. And Villagrán's finishing up his warm-up tosses. And just so you know, coming into this game, Lancer leadoff hitter Gabriel Arellano comes in second in the state of California with 52 hits. And overall, the Lancers as a team are the 4th best hitting team in the state with an overall batting average of .319 as a team. They have a record of 11-5 in the SCC North, which they are the first place team, with Chaffee trailing by 1 game. Overall, they are 19-8. And here we go, the Lancers getting their half of the first started.
All right, come on, get it.
Fastball taken on the inside part for strike 1. And here we go. Villagrán definitely with the start he wants. Arellano hitting .395 on the season with 23 RBIs. And pokes that to the right side. Second baseman is up with it, flips it over to Mackie, and that is the first out of the inning.
All right, come on, Cole.
Coming up is Cole Pilar, who is 3rd in the state in terms of on-base percentage at .534. The sophomore comes in with 25 RBIs, an average of 400, and unreal plate discipline with 23 walks versus 9 strikes. And here's the first pitch from Villagrán. And again, starts him off with a strike on the lower half. Villagrán does not waste much time on the bump. And we're back at it here for the second pitch of the at-bat. And that too is pulled to the right side. Another opportunity for second baseman, and an easy play there. 4 pitches, 2 quick outs. That play was made by Anthony Soto, the second baseman out of Garfield. And hoping to extend the inning for the Lancers is third baseman Marco Martinez out of La Puente, freshman, hitting .371 with 5 home runs. And again, another Lance with great plate discipline, 24 walks to 22 strikeouts. And Villagrán comes with the first pitch of the at-bat. And again, first pitch strike. All 3 hitters started them off with a strike. 0-1 is your count. Marco Martinez out of Maranatha, so he is quite familiar with Brookside Park as Maranatha plays their home games here as well. And bounces that one on the inside portion. Ball number 1. 1-1 is the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Martinez hitting .368 on the season, 27 RBIs, 25 runs scored, and again leads the Lancers with 5 home runs on the season. That one is up and in, and if you remember last week's game, Martinez did get hit in the head just a few games ago, so that one definitely a purposeful buzz of the tower. So we have 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs here. Villagrán. And here comes the pitch. That one is also inside for ball 3, 3-1. And should the inning get extended, it'll be Edward Manzo, follow Martinez. Villagrán takes a pensive moment off the hill. Now he's back on the rubber. And here's the pitch. And it'll be ball 4 for Martinez, who garners his 25th walk of the season. Coming up now is Edward Manzo, playing left field today out of Palmdale. The sophomore is hitting .357 on the season, as he gets a sign from Coach McGee. 2 outs on. The aggressive Lancers may want to put some action on. Manzo, right-handed hitter, steps to the plate. And here's the pitch. And there's strike 1. 0-1 is the count with 2 outs here, 1 on. Should Manzo extend it, we have the second baseman Ryan Lewis on deck waiting to swing it. Villagrán a bit more deliberate on with runners on the base path. Lays off a good breaking ball there, and we now have the count at 1-1. Martinez taking a respectable lead off of first. Not much of a threat to go. So there is action. It may be of the hit and run variation, but with 2 outs, that's very unlikely. Villagrán takes a peek over. Mackie holding him on. 1-1 pitch coming. And he lays off a off-speed pitch in the upper portion, runs it to 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And Manzo with 11 RBIs and 12 runs scored on the season. Stance is in the middle of the plate here. And the pitch. Taken on the inside, runs the count to 3-1. As the generally control pitcher, Villagrán has run into a bit of a control issue here. Despite throwing first pitch strikes to all 4 hitters he's faced, he now runs the risk of back-to-back walks here. Villagrán comes set. Manzo awaits the pitch. And he takes that for ball 4. 2 men on, no hits in this inning as of yet. Ryan Lewis, Temple City, looking to change that with an average of .321 on the season. Playing second base today. And Villagrán takes a little stroll around the bump, trying to get his head cleared a little bit here. And should Lewis get on, it's first baseman Vic Cepeda to follow. Ryan Lewis with the bat on his shoulder. Spread stance. Villagrán comes set. Takes the first pitch in the upper half for strike 1. 2 men on. Martinez at first. Martinez at second. Manzo at first. Lewis at the plate. And Villagrán with his 0-1 pitch coming. And he takes the pitch in the generally same position for ball 1. 1-1 is the count. 2 men on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Ryan Lewis being selective as Steven Villagrán tries to pitch himself out of the trouble he got himself into. Off-speed pitch, breaking ball in there for strike 2. Again, also in the higher upper portions of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
Drive the ball, Ryan.
Villagrán trying to get himself out of a jam. And here's what should be the payoff pitch. And he takes that inside for ball 2, evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. But it is the bottom of the first half, not the second, so deuces are not completely wild here.
Drive the ball, kid.
And Villagrán doing what any good pitcher would do, trying to get himself composed, taking a stroll. As more people start to show up here, it is a really nice sunny Saturday afternoon. Villagrán comes set, and here's the pitch. Smack to the shortstop, evenly played, and throws a second for the easy out to squelch the burning fire that could have been a rally there with 2 outs. That'll do it here in the first inning. 0-0 score. Lancers take the field, trying to keep it that way from the ELAC perspective. Austin Ruiz comes out for his second inning of work. And for the Huskies coming up, it'll be shortstop Eric Espinoza. All right, we're going to a break, and we'll be right back here with baseball from Brookside Park, PCC Lancers Baseball.
Look no further than Pasadena City College and our TVR program. Our professors know what they're talking about.
I have 25 years experience as a writer, editor, director, and a producer in the television industry. I worked for ESPN Sports, for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Dick Clark Productions.
I have 15 years experience as a producer, a director, a documentarian, and I own a production company that does video production and audio production.
I have had over 20 years experience in the professional audio business, along with post-production for several networks, and also my own private studio.
There's a reason PCC won the Aspen Prize for College Excellence twice.
I am Jeff Dunbar.
I'm James Patrick.
I'm Sarah Barker,
And
I'm a professor at Pasadena City College.
Pasadena City College. Dream. Come. Do.
And welcome back. We are here in the top of the first. Eric Espinoza at bat for the Huskies. Austin Ruiz still on the hill for the Lancers. And here's the first pitch of the at-bat. Outside for ball 1. Correction, that is the top of the second inning here at Brookside Park and Jackie Robinson Field. Ruiz comes set and delivers to Espinoza, who swings through a fastball there. Espinoza, today's shortstop out of Santa Fe, freshman, hitting .224 for the Huskies. Again, the averages for the Huskies in today's lineup are not very high, so one can expect that it'll be a really good defensive lineup. Second pitch is low for ball 2. Following Espinoza will be first baseman Troy Mackie out of Keppel. And following him is Anthony Soto, second baseman out of Garfield, who's had a lot of early action at second base for the Huskies. And here comes the next pitch. And it's spanked to Sanchez at short, who bobbles it, comes up with it. Throw to first is in time to Cepeda, and they get him by a hair. Oh, and we have some rockets going out here. Brookside Park is a great place to bring your dog for if you want to walk them. Sometimes they don't always get along. And hopefully the Lancers don't get too far along with the Huskies here. Now we have Mackie at the plate out of Keppel. sophomore, playing first base today. First pitch is in there for a strike. Looked to have crossed up Pilar a little bit as he caught it off his chest protector. Every now and then you get a little bit of confusion. Count is no balls, 1 strike here in the second. The number 5 hitter for the Huskies. Ruiz gets the one he likes and bounces that one as we are tied up at 1-1. That one went all the way to the backstop. Hopefully for Ruiz, it'll be a matter of effective lack of control here. Or effective wildness, I remember it being called. Fouled off to the right. No chance to get that one as it is up and out of play. Gust starting to kick up just a little bit here as our shade is blowing a little bit. We don't. And if you can see in center field, that American flag is majestically floating in the wind here. Ruiz looking for the sign, gets the one he likes. And here comes the pitch. Good off-speed pitch there, swung through for the strikeout. That is 2 outs. That's his second strikeout of the game. And coming up for the Huskies is second baseman Anthony Soto, sophomore out of Garfield, with a batting average of 225. Sure-handed second baseman digs in. And fouls off the first pitch straight back and into the mist. There you go. The second baseman has a bit of a wide stance, leans to lean back a little bit. Holds the bat high. Ruiz comes set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Up and out of the zone. Ball 1. And we're here 2 outs in the top of the second. Not a lot of contact, so the Lancers are standing out there with pretty much not much to do. Ruiz comes set. And here's the next pitch in the at-bat. That is low and called a ball for 2 balls, 1 strike. And again, Soto has 8 RBIs on the season, scored 7 runs, and hitting a light 227. 2-1 pitch is stroked to left center field, and it gets down. Manzo tried to dive for it, comes up short. Ariano with the throw to second, cut off by Sanchez. And Garfield has a Soto has a 2-out double to extend the second inning here for the Huskies. Now coming to the plate for the Huskies is shortstop Brandon Hernandez out of Roosevelt, freshman, hitting .210 on the season, with an opportunity to break open the scoring for this game with Soto on second. Ryan Lewis draws the responsibility of holding him on. Respectable lead off a second. Ruiz gives a peek. He'll bring it home. Swung through for the first strike of the at-bat. 2 outs again. No score here. The Lancers trying to get out of this 2-out jam. Ruiz peers into Pilar. And he's got it. And the pitch. Spins that one in there for strike 2. 0-2 pitch here, 2 outs. Looking to get himself out of what may turn into a jam. But at this point, it's a mild concern. Pilar relays the signs. Lewis still holding Soto on at second. Ruiz tries to go up the ladder, and Hernandez does not bite. 1-2 is the count. Outfield playing him straight away. And Cepeda far off the line at first. Ruiz comes set. Takes a glance at Soto. And the pitch. Drops it in there for strike 3 looking. That is his second strikeout looking. Third strikeout on the afternoon. And the Lancers get to swing the sticks again. And it'll be first baseman Vic Cepeda leading it off for the Lancers, followed by Coates and Sanchez. After the top of the second, it's still 0-0 here at Brookside Park, Jackie Robinson Field. Really one of the nicer places to play ball in the SCC North, of which the Lancers are the first place team with a game lead over Chaffee and a game and a half lead over third place Mount San Antonio, who they have a series with in the coming week. Should be a really good matchup. For most of the season, Mount San Antonio had led the division, but that has gone by the wayside, and the Lancers have taken over with a really good stretch of games. This here is the rubber match of the series with East Los Angeles College, and surprisingly, it's a rubber match. The Huskies won the first game of the series. The Lancers outlasted them to beat them during the week 9-7, and here we are after 1.5, 0-0 tie, and it's Steven Villagrán again on the hill for the Huskies, with Cepeda, Coates, and Sanchez coming up for the Lancers. Vic Cepeda, first baseman, freshman out of San Dimas, hitting .319 on the season. And Villagrán ready to go back to work. Up and in, ball one. That is the first ball thrown to a start off an at-bat in this game for Villagrán, who did have 2 walks in the previous inning. And that one is hit to Soto at second. Easy pick and throw to first. That will be the first out of the inning here. Bottom of the second. Coming to the plate is the designated hitter for today's game, Wyatt Coates out of Upland, a freshman hitting .379 on the season. The lanky right-handed hitter takes his place at the box. And Villagrán's going to bring it to him. Inside for ball one. 0-1 count, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Coates with a wide stance, waiting the second pitch of the at-bat. And tries to hold it up, but gets just a little bit of the bat on for foul ball, strike 1. You can hear the ping on that. You can tell he got really far inside, or as the young folks like to say, the kitchen. Villagrán's done an effective job working the inner half of the plate in the early going here. Spins a breaking ball in for ball 2. 2-1 count to Wyatt Coates, designated hitter for the Lancers this afternoon. Outfield plays him straight away. Third baseman in a little bit, and first baseman playing off the line. And his poke through the hole on the right side. Soto had no play. And Coates is the first runner in the second inning here for the Lancers, with what can be described as a outfield single. Barely making it out of the infield, but well placed nonetheless. Now coming up is the shortstop, Jake Sanchez out of Alhambra, freshman. Hitting .282, but has an on-base percentage of .420. So then has high expectations for this at-bat. Coates with a respectable lead at first. Villagrán comes set. Inside pitch taken for ball 1 of the at-bat. Both Coates and Sanchez looking to Coach McGee for the play, if any is on. Coates expands his lead over at first. Mackie holds him on. Big hole on the right side of the diamond for the Huskies. Ooh, low and inside for strike 1. 1-1 count here, 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the second. And Jake Sanchez, shortstop, formerly of Alhambra High School. looking to give Coach an opportunity to round some bases here. Again, giant hole on the right side. And it's poked up the middle by Sanchez, and it gets through. Coach will hold at second. There we go, nice single, back-to-back singles for the Lancers here. Looking to get something going. And at the plate is the right fielder, Frank Yokas, out of Burbank, sophomore. Hitting .235 on the season with 1 home run and .435 on-base percentage. Behind him will be the leadoff hitter, Gabriel Ariano. York is in an upright stance, looking to do something here. 2 runners on, 1 out. First baseman Mackie playing far off the line at first, and the outfield playing him straight away, if not to pull in the left field. Soto with the responsibility of holding Coach near second. Villagrán comes set, takes a peek at second. And it is banked out to left and caught. Runners have no chance to advance. The throw comes into the shortstop. That one looked good off the bat, just did not carry very well. And now coming up with 2 outs and still 2 on. And we're back here with Ariano at the plate. RBI opportunity here with 2 outs. Soto holding Coates on a second. Mackie not holding at first. First pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. 0-1 count. Sanchez with a moderately conservative lead with Mackie not holding him. Outfield slightly playing Ariano to pull. And Soto holding Coates on at second. Villagrán comes set. And here's the pitch. Pulled down. And again, fielded by Brandon Hernandez, the shortstop in the hole, goes to second to end the rally. The Lancers leave 2 more. And we go to the third here at Robinson Field. Still scoreless. Ruiz hoping to keep it that way for the Lancers for a 3rd inning. If he gets through this inning, that'll match his last outing. And for the Huskies, it'll be De La Pena, Wells, and then the top of the order coming up. We'll be back after this short break here on PCC TV.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
And we're back here at Jackie Robinson Field at Brookside Park, just in the shadows of the Rose Bowl down here in Arroyo Seco. And it's still 0-0 tie. Lancers and Huskies. Starting the top of the 3rd here, Austin Ruiz still on the hill for the Lancers. And coming up for the East Los Angeles College Huskies, will be left fielder Daniel La Pena out of Keppel, freshman who does not have a hit on the season. Hoping to break out here. And first pitch is bounced off the plate for ball 1 and scoots away from Pilar. So far to this point, Oscar Ruiz has been effectively wild. Looking to even up here with the second pitch. Swung through by De La Pena. Who who I believe has struck out out of 4 times in his 8 at-bats on the season with no hits. 1-1 pitch coming. And nubbed down the line, and that'll be a foul ball. Would have been a tough play for Martinez had that stayed fair, but fortunately didn't have to do that. And we have a 1-ball, 2-strike count here to start the top of the 3rd. De La Pena taking a moment to center himself. Now he's back in the box, and Ruiz is ready to go back to work. Comes set. And thought he put him away with that curveball there, but it's called for a ball. Apparently that was low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What looked like a good pitch. And here's the payoff pitch. Another real close pitch called for ball 3, and this is ran down to full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes in the early going here in the top of the 3rd. De La Pena looking to get on for the first time this season. Pokes it down the right side, foul. And he's battling. You got to give it to him. He is giving it a really good effort here. He's been patient. Appears to have seen the ball really well. It's the type of battle you want. Be first. Full count. Again, poke to the right side as he's late on that fastball. Ruiz trying to put him away. The 6'3" righty has the one he wants. And here it comes. Thought about it, and he gets on base first time this season. And we have a runner for the Huskies. De La Pena draws a walk. And now coming up for the Huskies is number 13, their center fielder for today. Actually, no, it's their catcher, Matthew Wells out of Baldwin Park. 5'11", 150. Squares around the bunt. Martinez charges hard, pulls it back. And Pilar thought about going to first, but nobody was there. Apologies for the confusion there. Wells is just doesn't look like your normal catcher. He's quite small. Hitting .238 on the season. Again, the freshman out of Baldwin Park. Looking to be up there to move De La Pena from first to second. See if he squares around a bunt again. He does. Martinez charges. Cepeda holding him on. And is bounce in the air. Cepeda goes to second to Sanchez for 1. And late back at first. And Coach McGee is out to petition for an interference call at second. It was a really close play with Sanchez taking the brunt of a slide. But they do cut the runner off at first for at least 1 out. And now the umpire is going to convene. And here we have a replay for you to see here. Cepeda comes up with it, the throw comes, and Sanchez is unable to get the throw off because the De La Pena slide goes right into him. A bit late, if you ask me. So the umpires are now going to talk it over and see what they decide. And the call is no interference. The runner at second remains out, and the runner will be allowed to stay at first. So it'll be marked down as a fielder's choice. 5-6, or actually, pardon me, 3-6. And so, you know, we get 1 out here in the top of the 3rd, and Wells replaces De La Pena at first. And now we have Ruben Hernandez, the second at bat of the game. Wells taking a big lead off of first. Cepeda trying to hold him on. And that's a first pitch ball from Ruiz. And Hernandez conversing with the umpire or something. Can't really tell, we don't have a mic there, but left-handed hitter comes up, the outfield shifts to the left. And a large gap with Cepeda holding him on first on the right side. Ruiz steps off, wants to go over the signs one more time. Wells shortens his lead. And here's the pitch. Spinner on the outside, way outside. Pilar has to get up out of his crouch to go get it. And a 2-0 ball. Pilar goes out to converse with Ruiz after some mix-up on a couple of signs there. It's a short conversation. Usually when the pitch coach stays out of it, it's just the catcher and the pitcher. Those talks can get real short. Ruiz on the bump with 1 out here, 2 balls, no strikes, looking to get back into this at-bat. Bounces that one about 59 feet for ball number 3, 3-0 count here. And it looks like it's Torres getting loose up in the bullpen, just in case. As we've ran this to 3 balls, no strikes, 1 out in the top of the 3rd. Leadoff hitter Ruben Hernandez takes the first strike of the at-bat. 3-1 is the count here. And Ruiz is going to try and work his way all the way back from 3-0. And the pitch. Taken on the lower inside part of the plate for strike 2. He's ran it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Benny Torres has not yet begun to warm up. He's just standing up, getting some stretching going. The big righty out of Glendora. But first things first, Austin Ruiz, full count here to Ruben Hernandez of the Huskies. Wells still at first. Payoff pitch is a nubber back to the mound. Ruiz gets it over to for Cepeda for the first out. For the out at first, we have 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Matthew Wells is advanced to second base. And now up is third baseman Andy Rodriguez. As you see, it was well fielded his position quite well there, did Ruiz. Got off the hill, over to the ball, and made the nice calm throw to Cepeda for the 2nd out of the inning here.
Oh, nice.
Nice first pitch there for Austin Ruiz, who may have found something in that tough at-bat against Hernandez. Facing Rodriguez here with Wells on second, being held on by Lewis. Austin Ruiz trying to build off that first pitch strike. And gets a high foul ball. Might have some room. Pilar goes for it, and it just ekes out over the fence.
Good job.
Pilar does not get to it, but we do have 0-2 count here for Ruiz.
Good job,
Cole Pilar really got up and out to that ball really quickly, just ran out of room. Quite a bit of foul territory here, so it did provide an opportunity. Just sailed out of his reach and out of play. Here we are, top of the 3rd. Runner at second. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ruiz trying to get himself out of yet another sticky situation. Time to bear down here for Ruiz. Gets the sign he wants and comes set. Gives a glance at second. And steps off. Didn't like what he saw there. Outfield playing straight away with Cepeda, the first baseman, well off the line at first. Lewis holding on Wells. Ruiz and Pilar trying to connect here. And Ruiz comes set. Here's the pitch. Ooh, let that one float a little bit. Pass, wild pitch, and Wells will get to third on that wild pitch.
You're all right, Austin.
Still has a position here of 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. He makes his pitch. He can get out of this inning without any harm. Although with the runner at third, bouncing one is a bit of a concern. The 1-2 pitch to Rodriguez coming. And he hits him on the backside. Rodriguez takes first, and up comes Villagrán trying to help his own cause. Villagrán will have runners at first and third, 2 outs. And Coach Pat McGee was going out to talk to Austin Ruiz. With Benny Torres getting loose in the pen, Villagrán may be the final hitter for Ruiz if he can't get him. It's a little early for speculation, but might as well just put it out there. Although Torres does not look to be that set on coming into this game at this point. Ruiz looking to get himself out of this jam. Facing the Huskies' top hitter. Again, Steven Villagrán not only is their best pitcher, he's the pretty much their top hitter with 18 RBIs, an average of .336 on the season. Just to do it all for the Huskies.
Get batter.
Big at bat here for Ruiz. Comes set. And starts it off up and away for ball 1.
Come on, Austin. Battle here, kid.
Defensive lineman is all straight away with Vic Cepeda holding on Rodriguez at first. Wells taking not much of a lead. Ruiz steps off as Pilar gets the call from the bench. Wells is one of your more athletic catchers, so he doesn't necessarily need that much of a lead off of third if it does bounce away.
Nice.
Gets that one in there in the upper part of the zone. Some instances that could have been a strike, but due to the wildness that he's experienced today, that's probably one of the reasons why it was not given. 2-0 count here. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, 2 on, first and third here in the top of the third. Ruiz battling, trying to get himself out of this. Spins that one in there for strike 1. We got 2 balls, 1 strike. This is the moment right here where you bear down in a game, in a season. First place Lancers have received quite a bit of those performances from their pitching staff. Ruiz trying to get himself out of a jam. Comes set. And here's the pitch. That's fouled away, straight back and into the forest. And yeah, we are at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs, but we are in the top of the third. All around. And we're not at the river yet, so see what the next card has to show. And it is spanked to right, and it splits the gap. Yokas has it, throws to second, cut off by Lewis, and Villagrán is in, standing up with a double. Let's see here, and that breaks the scoreless tie here, 1-0. Let's see here, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at what we got. And you can see that was a well-placed line drive, bringing in the run. And the throw is not in time as Villagrán gets in. Not really as close as it looked live, even with the replay. So Ruiz trailing by 1, runner at second and third, facing Espinoza. And here he comes. Fouled away straight back to the backstop. And yeah, so we have no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here. And the Huskies have broken the scoreless tie. It's 1-0. And they're threatening for some more here with Ruiz on the hill. Espinoza at the plate. Break a ball in there for strike 2, 0-2 count. Same count he had Rodriguez before he hit him. Hoping to finish it off and get the Lancers back up at the plate. Trailing 1-0 here in the top of the third. Ruiz methodical, comes set. And here's the pitch. Fouled off to the right side, and we have another scansion hit. And instant return. It's like those old basketball hoops back in the day where you had you make the shot and it bounces right back to you. That one came right back to home plate. Instant return, not even have to chase it. 0-2 count here, 2 outs, 2 on. Ruiz trying to put away Espinoza. Reaches back for a bit more on that one and misses on the outside. 1-2 is the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And again, 2 outs, 2 on. Espinoza battles. Ruiz tries to put him away. And we have a balk. There's a balk called on Austin Ruiz. See if we have what happened on that play here. Just a slightest bit of movement. And now the umpire is cautioning the first base coach for ELAC to get back in the coaching box. Some confusion there, but it's been a point of contention so far in this game that the first base coach for ELAC had encroached a significant amount. And now Ruiz down 2-0 with the runner still at third. 1 ball, 2 strikes, trying to put away Espinoza. And clips him on the calf. And out comes Coach McGee as Ruiz hits his second batter of the inning. And it's gonna be the big man, Benny Torres, coming on for the Lancers. Freshman righty, 6'1", 250, out of Glendora High School by way of San Dimas. Pitched on Thursday's game. And on the season, he has 19 innings pitched, 10 appearances, ERA of 2.37 with 15 strikeouts and a record of 2 wins, 1 loss. Comes into a bit of a sticky situation here for the Lancers. Down 2-0 in the third. Runner at first and third. And it will be number 5 hitter, first baseman Troy Mackie out of Keppel coming up for the Huskies. This is definitely not the type of performance that the Lancers were looking for out of Austin Ruiz after having to use 5 relief pitchers in the last game, of one of which was Torres. Number 36, the High Sox Torres. A bit of a traditional reliever's arsenal. Fastball, slider, from the looks of it. A little bit of a hitch on the back end of his release. Definitely the type of pitcher that looks to overpower the hitter. Work up in the zone, which should benefit him, as the umpire in this afternoon's baseball game has had a bit of a higher zone than normal. In the warm-up toss, we had to see a little bit of that change up here. Nice straight change from Torres. So we can make that a 3-pitch arsenal. Fastball, slider, changeup. And we're here. Once again, you're on PCC TV by way of YouTube. Joining us on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Jackie Robinson Field, Brookside Park. Arroyo Seco, home of the Rose Bowl. As far as weather goes, it doesn't get much better than this. Just wish for the Lancers' sake that it was a better outcome at this point, as they are again trailing 2-0. They were down on Thursday's game early, came back to pull that one off, so they're going to have to do it again. And Torres gives himself the final bendición of the game here, and see what he can do. See if we can get the Lancers out of peligro in this one. Torres facing Mackie with Espinoza at first and Rodriguez at third. Make that Villagran at third. First pitch strike down the center of the plate. Sliced it, diced it. 0-1 count here. Still 2 outs here in the top of the third. Mackie getting the sign. There's 2 outs. Not sure much can be done as far as calling a play of any kind. And Mackie here awaiting the second pitch of his at-bat. Torres with the pitch. Fouled off straight back and into the bosque as Benny Torres jumps out ahead quickly. 0 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs, looking to get the Lancers quickly out of this jam. Focus, low brim on the hat. Can barely see his eyes. Looking intense. He's set. Payoff pitch is spanked to left. Manzo's gonna have to let that bounce. Throw goes to third in easy. Martinez scoops it up. The throw hits him. Sanchez has to scramble for it, and that is going to be a 3rd run in for the Huskies, as that throw should have gone to second and not third. And we have a replay of it to see how this turned out here. Ball is spanked to left. Left fielder gets it on a hop. You see Villagran come in to score on the play, being that 4th run of the inning. And Mackie ends up with a double. Actually, we're going to score that a double or a single and an extra base? All right, just check with the scorekeeper. We're going to go double on that. Although Manzo had come up throwing a second, he may have gotten him there, but the throw goes to third instead. And in the scramble, Villagran makes that Espinoza comes all the way around to score for the 4th run of the game and the inning. And true, Torres hung that 0-2 pitch a bit too much. That ball is bounced in the dirt, ball 1. And it's second baseman Anthony Soto at plate with Mackie at second. Cepeda well off the line at first. And here comes the pitch. Ball taken low for strike 2. And again, we have a 0-2 count. Last 0-2, the pitch was a bit, make that 1-1 with 2 outs. That 0-2 pitch from Torres in the last at bat was a bit too rich. And Torres low for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs still here in the top of the third. And the Huskies still challenge. Still looking to put some more on the board with runner at second. And that one's hit to shortstop Sanchez, scoops it up, throws over to Cepeda at first, and the inning is finally over for the Lancers. Although it appears that the heavy is the head that wears the crown, as they give up 4 in the third here at Robinson Field. Lancers trail 4-0, as Coach McGee calls them all here, as this is a team building moment right now. Every good team always has a moment like this during the season. having just overtaken Chaffee and Mount Sac for first place in the SCC North. This appears to be the first challenge for the Lancers as a first place team. It's going to be what they need to do, again, what they did on Thursday. Come back from a large deficit. Here they trail in the third, 4-0. And from the Lancers' perspective, you can only hope that Villagran spent a little bit too much time on the bench and comes back a little out of control. He's just about done with his warm-up tosses. All right, and leading it off will be catcher Cole Pilar out of Monrovia. Left-handed hitter will be followed by Martinez and Manzo, as the Lancers try and crawl their way back out of this one. Bottom of the third, trailing 4-0. With the third best on-base hitter in the state leading it off. And that is popped up to third, high ball way up there, and brought down by third baseman Andy Rodriguez for the first out. One pitch, one out. Now coming up is Marco Martinez, third baseman out of La Fuente. And Villagran is back at it. The long break apparently did not affect them all that much. The lanky right-hander looks to deal. And first pitch taken for a strike on that one. Really effective. Villagran looking in deep for that sign from Wells, gets it, and here comes the pitch. And that is a peel down to first. He did check his swing. That'll be ball one. 1-1 count here, one out. Still trailing 4-0 are the Lancers in the bottom of the third. So got quite a pretty good crowd out here today. It's a great day to be outside. That is in there for strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Villagran showing no ill effects of running the bases or sitting on the bench, while the Huskies had their long third inning at bat. And here comes the pitch. That is just a bit outside for ball number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out here. Martinez, one of the more patient hitters for the Lancers. Again, drew his 25th walk of the season in his first at-bat. And that is spanked to right field. Go back on it is the right fielder, and he gets it. That was well tracked by Ruben Hernandez out there. The ball was slicing towards the gap, and he came up with it. The Lancers have put together some pretty good contact on the afternoon, but just hit them to the places where the fielders were. And Manzo with 2 outs, looking to expend the inning. Villagran ready to work, no delay. First pitch strike in there. And should Manzo find a way on, we have Ryan Lewis in the on-deck circle. Villagran taking a bit longer than normal this time. And here he comes with it. Manzo lays off the curveball. Runs the count to 1-1. Mackie at first, in on the grass. And that is skied to right field. And Hernandez brings that down for the 3rd out of the inning. And after 3, Lancers trail 4-0. Benny Torres goes out for his first full inning after finishing off the 3rd for the Lancers. Bullpen is quiet, so it looks like it'll be his game for the time being. And we're going to take a short break, and I believe we'll be back after this here, and we'll be back with the top of the fourth. And we're back here as Torres finishing up his warm-up tosses. And again, you're
Today
on
I'm going to
PCC
talk to you
TV,
about
home
physics.
of Lancers baseball from Pasadena City College. And we are bringing this game to you from Jackie Robinson Field here at Brookside Park in the shadows of the Rose Bowl on what is typically, a beautiful Southern California day. This is a really great atmosphere for a game. You got all the trees and the greenery. This is great. It's a great spot. If you have an opportunity, come on down, catch a game live. But if not, definitely watch us on YouTube when the game does get posted. And Torres is ready to start the top of the fourth here. Facing, I believe,
Come on, Biddy.
this. And Torres comes set. And the pitch. Looking to drop a bunt, pulls it back. And at the plate is number 2, Brandon Hernandez, the shortstop out of Roosevelt.
Yeah, yeah.
And there we go, the first strike of the bat, 2 balls, 1 strike. As the shortstop, the light-hitting shortstop is hitting .210 on the season, but has provided, even in this game, a really solid defensive shortstop play. And that's fouled straight back, and Torres has evened it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And yeah, that is not a quick, that is just got really close to the camera we have set up there. And there we go. We're back with the picture here, and Torres comes set. Payoff pitch is skied high, ball 3, and he's run it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, which has been a story told for most of this game from the Lancers pitching staff.
Come on, Biddy. Come on, kid.
Benny Torres bearing
Go at
down,
him.
does not want to let Hernandez go, and scuffs that one for a walk. Leadoff walk is definitely not the way you want to start an inning, especially after giving up 4 in the previous. Now coming to the plate, the left fielder, Daniel De La Pena at a Keppel. Got on base for the first time all season in his previous at-bat with a walk. Looking to the bench, and you can expect a bunt here as Marco Martinez already pulls himself up to the grass. Vic Cepeda will hold the runner, so it's Torres' responsibility is the right side of the diamond. Martinez way up. De La Pena pulls it back. And Cepeda had a late charge.
Biddy, you're good, Biddy. Nice pitch.
Again, runner on first. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, no outs. And De La Pena looks to be bunting again to see if he squares. He does not. It's a steal. Pilar with the throw, and not in time. Brandon Hernandez has that one stolen relatively easy. 1 ball, 1 strike as De La Pena did not square around to bunt, just stood there. Let Hernandez do what Hernandez was going to do. Results in a stolen base at second. And Torres comes in for the next pitch in the at-bat. De La Pena squares around, pulls it back for ball 2. And the Lancers bullpen is getting active once more as Torres has ran into a little bit of control issues here. De La Pena squares around again. Cepeda charges real hard. Ball is up for ball 3, 3-1. And it looks like Matt Orosco is the righty warming up in the bullpen at this point, as Torres has ran into some control issues here. 3-1 is the count. Runner at second. De La Pena squares around, and he gets it down to Torres. Torres spins, throws to Cepeda, and it's in the dirt. Ryan Lewis could not corral it. That ball goes out of bounds, and that is another run for the Huskies. 5-0 is the score, as De La Pena bunted it to the right side of Torres, and Torres came up throwing, but it just skipped past a diving Lewis. Let's take a look at that right here. And you can tell De La Pena got it just in the right spot between the third baseman and the pitcher. Torres makes a great way to get over to it. Just the throw skipped away from Lewis as it was low and rushed. And that'll do it for Benny Torres. And it's going to be a Matt Orosco coming in for the Lancers. 5'11", 155, sophomore at a Hacienda Heights Wilson High School. Seeing if he can get the Lancers through this rough patch here as they trail here in the fourth, 5-0. Generally a starter, Matt Orosco does have the ability to give the Lancers length, starting 6 of his 7 appearances. The record of 2 wins, 2 losses, 26 innings total, ERA of 4.50 with 25 strikeouts. His last outing came on the 4th, where he did throw a couple of innings in that game, in which the Lancers did come back to win 9-7. So hopefully you can actually give them the same thing you gave them that night. And without trailing, you can't have a comeback. So there is that silver lining. Matt Orosco with a tight slider, lanky righty. Has a bit of a 3/4 motion. Bespeckled. And I think the term that would describe Orosco here is wiry, though he can sling it. Lancers a little shaken here, and it will be Wells coming up for the Huskies. Let's take a look at his curveball here. Well, it's a bit of a spinner. De La Pena taking his place back at second. De La Pena was awarded second as the ball went out of play on that bunt. And here we go. We still have no outs here in the top of the fourth. Sophomore righty out of Wilson looks to get the Huskies out of it here. Cepeda and Martinez up on the grass. And Wells does square around a bunt. Lewis creeping in as well. Sanchez holding the runner at second. Pulls it back for strike 1. Up in the zone here. Good start after the control issues of the previous 2 pitchers. And again, it'll be Martinez and Cepeda charging. Lewis creeping towards first with Sanchez holding De La Pena on at second. Outfield is straight away. Wells squares to bunt. Pulls it back again for strike 2. Not sure what he saw. Both those pitches would have been well to offer at. Umpire encourages Wells to get back in the box. 0-2 count here. Do the Huskies keep the bunt on, or do they allow Wells to play it out? Orosco's going to try and put him away. And he hits him with the 0-2 pitch. Third hit batsman for the Lancers in this game. And they swing it back to the top of the lineup here. 2 runners on, no outs in the bottom of the 5th, trailing by 5. And it's Ruben Hernandez, the right fielder, up for the Huskies. Outfielders shift to play him to go the opposite way. With 2 men on, infielders don't have much of a choice but to play where they are. Cepeda not holding Wells on at first. Hernandez squares around a bunt. That is low and outside from Orosco. And as he looks to the sign, and we see on that replay that all Wells had to do is lean in and take it on the elbow. And we're back here with live action with Orosco versus Hernandez. That one is spun in there for strike 1. We have 1-1. No outs, 2 runners on. De La Pena at second, catcher Wells at first, and it's Ruben Hernandez at the plate. Orosco on the hill for the Lancers. Looking to get out of this jam, and Hernandez squares around a bunt. Cepeda charges. Ball bounces into Pilar. Great stop by the catcher. Everybody has to stay put. And Orosco trying to figure it out. Ruben Hernandez getting signs from the bench, as this is a big opportunity here for the Huskies. Hernandez squares around a bunt. Cepeda already in his pocket, and that is scuffed. We have 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike here, as the Lancers pitching staff has gotten a little bit off the rails here. 3-1 count, nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Hernandez can be selective here as he squares around a bunt again. Cepeda charging hard. Pulls it back, and that's going to be strike 1. We're going to have a full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch coming. Nobody out. Don't think the runners will be in motion at this point, as De La Pena does not have a huge lead, nor does Wells. Sanchez spying on De La Pena. And that's a foul ball, pops straight up. Can't see it, it's way back, and it's out of play. Got a shade here. At some point you lose sight of where that ball is. We don't know where it ended up, we just know that it went foul. And here's the payoff pitch, part due. And that is smacked to center field. Ariano comes on hard. He gets it on the run and has De La Pena doubled up at second. And that is the type of play that the Lancers definitely needed there. Good heads up play by Ariano. Don't want to call it the other way. But for those watching at home, kids, always be aware of where the ball is when you start running. De La Pena was caught all the way at third when the ball was hit right over his head. So we now have 2 outs here in the bottom, or the top of the 4th. Lancers down by 5, and it is Andy Rodriguez, the third baseman, at plate with Wells still at first. That is fouled off to the right side and out of play. Strike 1. 0-1 here. Pilar gets the sign from the bench. Relays that to Orosco. Rodriguez with a little bit of a wiggle. Bat straight up. Orosco comes set. And here's the pitch. Swung through, high fastball, put it past him. A little bit of Louisiana Bayou on that. 0-2 is the count, 2 outs. Top 4, 1 runner on. Orosco needs to make a good pitch here. 0-2 has actually been a count that has not favored the Lancers in this game. It's either too fat or misses. This pitch has to be well placed. Got to be the best pitch of the inning for Orosco here. Steps off. This point, without the way the inning have gone, you might want to put it away, not consider wasting it. In this at bat, Rodriguez has shown that he cannot catch up with the fastball that Orosco is providing. Throws a first, and a nice snag by Cepeda over there. Bench advising Orosco to focus on the hitter here. Put him away and get the Lancers up to the plate. Again, it is 5-0. Lancers trail here in the 4th. Payoff pitch coming. And it bounces away from Pilar. Well, stays at first as he gets to it rather quickly. And Rodriguez has pushed the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the 4th. All right, Rodriguez steps back into the box. And Orosco comes here with the payoff pitch. Is strike 3 in the lower portion. And the Lancers finally get out of the 4th here. Again, trailing 5-0. Comeback starts here, or at least it'll have to. Lancers coming up to hit in the bottom of the 4th. And again, for the 2nd straight inning, we have a team-building moment right here as we're getting that captured on our camera. The Lancers are going to do anything. They got to do it as a team. There are no 5-run homers, so it's going to need runners. Going to need to get players on base, drive them in one at a time. As the cliches go, just keep it moving. One domino after another if they're going to want to get back into this one. 5-0 here as the Lancers come up in the 4th. Let's see what they can do. As Villagrán has been throwing a pretty good game so far. Wrapping up his warm-up tosses. No changes yet for either team from the lineup. And it'll be Cepeda leading it off for the Lancers, followed by Coates and Sanchez. Make that Lewis starting it off, followed by Cepeda and Coates. It's going to take one batter at a time, and Ryan Lewis looks to be the first. And we are going right back at it. Villagrán ready to go back to work. First pitch of the at-bat is up for a ball. And we'll see what Villagrán can do to adjust. Here we go. The Lancer bench getting raucous. That is ball 2 up and away. Maybe there's something in the air. Maybe the Huskies will come down with a bit of control issues here, as Ryan Lewis has gotten the count to 2-0. Again, no outs here in the bottom of the 4th. And here's the pitch. That is taken low and inside for ball 3. 3-0 is the count. By any means, by hit or by walk or by hit by pitch, the Lancers need base runners. And leading off the inning with a base runner sounds like a sound strategy to me. Taken for a strike. 3-1 is the count. As the wind begins to blow from right to left here at Robinson Field. Swung through a fastball there. And the count is run to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. Villagrán and Manzo having a good old-fashioned duel here. Pitch to Lewis. Is poked to the right side and fielded by Soto, who throws it over to Mackie for the first out of the inning. That was a good battle here. See if we got anything on that. As Vic Cepeda steps up to the plate. And Villagrán stands back, and here we see opposite field hit by Ryan Lewis as he charges up the line and is easily beaten by the throw. First pitch to Cepeda is in there for a strike. 0-1 is the count, nobody on, 1 out here in the 4th. Coates awaits his opportunity here on PCC TV. Pitch to Cepeda. Is hit back up the middle, fielded by Villagrán. Villagrand's going to underhand it to Mackie for the second out of the inning. And no one's going to come out and check on Villagrand, who took that off the, let's just call it the midsection, and quickly recovered to get Cepeda at first. And now here comes the coach for ELAC to check on his pitcher, who, again, took it off the upper thigh. And we could have a replay of it right here. As you can see, field your own position is very key to the pitching position. And that comebacker goes right off the inner thigh. But Villagrand recovers easily and with enough time to get Cepeda at first. So here we are now with 2 outs in the 4th, and it's Wyatt Coates, the designated hitter, up for the Lancers. As Villagrand comes set, and here's the pitch. Take it for strike 1. 0-1's the count. And should Coates get on base, it'll be Jake Sanchez following the DH. And that was fouled straight back, and you can tell by the force as our GoPro is shaken at its core. And here we are, 0-2 count, 2 outs, nobody on. Coates trying to keep this inning alive. And here comes the pitch. Fastball up in the zone, swung on and missed by Coates, and that'll do it for the Lancers here in the 5th, as they trail 5-0. That'll do it for the 4th, and we're going into the 5th. I got caught cheating there, staring at the scoreboard, which updated a little bit quicker than I did. Although truth be told, the way it's gone, it feels like it's the 5th. And we'll be back after this on PCC TV.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
And I'm just going to get to the opportunity here. Okay, and we are back here at Jackie Robinson Field on Brookside Park. And Matt Orosco has just finished up his, there you see how close we are in the stone's throw away from the Rose Bowl. Matt Orosco has just finished his warm-up tosses as we enter the 5th inning here. And the Lancers trail 5-0 here in the rubber match of this 3-game series, in which both teams have won a game. And here we go. We are ready to go here in the 5th. Orosco comes set. And Villagrand gets a hold of one. It's high, and it's going to hang up. Ariano has a track on it, and he gets to it out in the gap. So one thing about playing here in the Orosco, if you get the ball in the air, it just tends to kind of sit there. Nice high skies. We'll see just how far Ariano had to go for that one.
Way to track that, Gabe.
And you can see he goes a pretty good fair amount of distance, about 20 yards to go get that ball. Makes the play look real easy. Here we are back at live action. And Orosco pumps it in for strike 1 with 1 out here. Don't let the dimensions fool you. It's it plays a lot bigger than it is. And Orosco pumps in a strike. We have 0-2 is the count here quickly. Down the lines is 345 feet, 364 feet to straightaway center field. But again, this place does play bigger than the dimensions. So Matt Orosco goes to work here and blows it past actually Espinoza for the 2nd out of the inning here.
Good job, Matt.
Got him swinging on a high fastball. And now coming up to the plate is first baseman Troy Mackie. And Orosco on the hill, raring to go. If this keeps up, this will be the quickest inning for the Lancers all afternoon, which could be a sign of the tide shifting. Pumps it in for a first pitch. Strike. 0-1, 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the fifth. The Lancers trail by 5. And here's Orosco's second pitch of the at-bat. It is low as Mackie squared and pulled it back, feinting a bunt. But with 2 outs and nobody on, I really don't see that as the case, although Cepeda is playing fairly deep at first, and Martinez is even with the bag. The rest of the defense is straight up. And he scores the bunt again. That is strike 2 looking. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and it looks like the Huskies are trying to just test the Lancers pitching staff in an effort to try and disrupt them as they try and find control. Orosco reached back for a little bit extra on that one and missed up. And we have 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Matt Orosco trying to get through this inning quickly, get the Lancers back up to the plate. And fooled him on that one, got him leaning and strike out swinging for Matt Orosco as the Lancers come back up to the plate. It'll be Jake Sanchez leading it off with Frank Yocas and Gabriel Ariano flipping the lineup as the Lancers come up here in their part of the fifth. As they still trail by 5, that inning may be a momentum shifter for the Lancers as Matt Orosco made easy work of the Huskies lineup in that inning. Steven Villagrán still poses an issue for the Lancers as they try and make the comeback all the way back. They are trailing by 5. Villagrán has been quite masterful today. He's had a really good sense of the strike zone, good touch on all his pitches. He's really placing it where he wants. The lanky righty is wrapping up his warm-up tosses and shows no ill effect of getting into the 5th here. And again, it'll be Sanchez leading it off with Yocas and Ariano to follow. Here from Robinson Field on PCC TV. Glad to bring you Lancers baseball here. And here we go. Every rally starts with 1 runner, and the Lancers need to get that runner on base. Jake Sanchez looks to be that guy. Freshman out of Alhambra, hitting .282 on the season with the on base of .420, with high expectations of getting on here. First pitch strike again by Villagrán. That has been the bread and butter of this young man's outing so far today, is getting ahead in each count so far and working quickly. There you go, that one's in the air. Looks to split the shortstop and the left fielder. Sliding catch by Espinoza does it for Sanchez. Gets his opposite number. Did we get it? Let's wait to see if we got a replay on that, because that would be one nice view. I believe that was the shortstop who came out to make that play, and here we got the replay. See the high pop-up, and both the left fielder and the shortstop are going after it, and the slide by Espinoza just in front of the left fielder. And out here, that could have been disastrous if it had gone poorly, but it didn't, thankfully. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Getting you back to live action. Yocas had a number, but it didn't leave the batter's box, so it's a foul ball for strike 1.
Come on, Frank. Have fun, Frank.
And here comes the second pitch. Villagrán wasting very little time in between pitches. And that is out on the outside corner for strike 2. 0-2 is the count. 1 out. And the fans here are starting to get a little on the umpire, and duly so. As the lanky right-hander comes through with his windup, and Yocas swings through that one for strike 3. Second out of the inning here. And the top of the Lancers order comes right back. and it's center fielder Gabriel Arellano out of Monrovia, one of the top hitters in the state. And as we start off our broadcast here, pointing out that he is second in the state with 52 hits, looking to extend this inning and make it 53. Hitting a robust 391 on the season. Villagrán has the sign, and here comes the pitch. Taken on the outside corner for strike one. There you go, Villagrán with a little flick of the glove. Expect a breaking ball here. And no, it's a little bit of trickeration as he comes in with a straight fastball on the inside. Misses though. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the Lancers portion of the 5th. He's got a little bit of something to him. He's having a great game. And telegraphs that off-speed pitch, and it misses inside. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs.
Right here, Gabe.
He's really trying to start to play a little bit of mind games with this Lancer lineup. Glove flicks, being a little bit more deliberate with his motions when he's throwing something. And here's the pitch. Spanked to Espinoza, the shortstop. Arellano running down the first base line, and Espinoza gets him at first. And that'll do it for the Lancers here in the 5th. As we head to the 6th, it's the Lancers 0, East Los Angeles College 5 in this rubber match of a 3-game series on a Saturday afternoon from Brookside Park, Jackie Robinson Field on PCC TV. If I haven't said so before, this is Alfonso Hernandez. Glad to be the one bringing you the audio portion of this broadcast. And again, it'll be Matt Orosco out for the Lancers. Bullpen is quiet as of right now. So from this point, it looks like it's going to be his game to finish. And we thank you for joining us here on PCC TV. We'll be back after these short messages.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Hey, Bobo.
And as is the case, you make a great defensive play. You usually start off the inning, and here's Anthony Soto for ELAC. And yeah, the second baseman has provided quite a bit of defense for the Huskies today. Looking to do something on the offensive end. And again, squaring around a bunt. They've only actually bunted the ball once today, so this is more of a tactic than a plan of action. Seems to have riled up the Lancers pitchers quite a bit, as they are having trouble finding the strike zone. Matt Orosco comes set. And that one is hit down to Sanchez, who bobbles, picks it up quickly, throws to Cepeda, bounces the throw. Cepeda digs it out in time, and they get Soto for the first out of the inning. Second time Sanchez bobbles a ball, but has not paid for it so far today. With a strong throw, and let's take a look at that here. See, it was sharply hit to Sanchez, who gets it, bobbles it off his glove just a little bit, but quicks it up, picks it up real quick, and skips the throw over. Cepeda with a really good snag over there at first. And we are back here with live action. It's 0 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. And it is Brandon Hernandez at the plate. In there for a strike. 0-2 is the count. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And Orosco's looking to work quickly here. and gets Hernandez to swing through that one for the second out of the inning. Now coming up is left fielder Daniel De La Pena. Still does not have a hit in the season, but has scored twice today. I believe scored once. Been on base twice. And Orosco here looking to get out of this inning quickly. And De La Pena swings through a fastball for 0-1. Pilar looks to the bench to get the sign. Transmits that signal over to Orosco, and Orosco comes set. De La Pena waits. And that is skipped on the outside part of the plate. 1-1 is the count. 2 strikes. Or 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Huskies with a comfortable 5-0 lead. Orosco looking to make quick work here in the 6th. Puts a little bit extra on that. It goes up and away. 2-1 is the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. De La Pena quite patient at the plate, not swinging at anything out of what he perceives as his zone. Very upright stance. And Orosco is set. Thought about it, should have done it. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And again, those deuces are wild with the river to come. So what does Orosco have to finish this hand? Three of a kind. And that is hit batter number 4 on the afternoon, as De La Pena gets it glancing off his elbow. Again, another 2-strike count from a Lancers pitcher results in a hit batter. And it'll be the catcher, Matthew Wells, coming up to the plate. If history is prologue, you can expect a bunt here from Wells. And it comes set, and they're going to let Wells swing away. He fouls it off straight to the backstop. And the wind starts to kick up a little bit more here, going left to right. As you can tell from all the trees blowing and Old Glory blowing in the wind. Pretty erect out there. And Orosco takes a peek over to De La Pena, being held on by Cepeda. And the pitch. Wells squares, pulls it back for ball number 1. And again now, the Huskies tend to try and mix it up a little bit here. When to square, when to bunt, when to pull it back. Who knows, may even see a Butcher Boy every now and then here. As Lewis is fairly deep at second, Cepeda's holding runner on at first. And they let Wells swing away. That'll be fouled off and out of play to the right. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count here, with 2 outs, 1 runner on for the Huskies. Here in the top of the 6th, leading the Lancers by 5. 5-0 is your score. And the happy sounds of the Palatero man. What would be baseball without ice cream? And here we go. Orosco comes set. And the pitch. Over to Sanchez deep in the hole. Throws nowhere. That throws away, and that ball is going to make it out of play, and De La Pena will come around to score. And scratch that, they are going to send De La Pena back to third, as he did not arrive at third before the ball goes out of bounds, out of play, and thus is not awarded the additional base. But Matthew Wells does end up at second. That'll be E6, so the throwing error on Sanchez. Here's the replay. As you can see, he does quite well to get over into the hole and throws it in between second and first. One has to imagine he was trying to go to second and just a little off balance, and, you know, boom. And so we bring you back here, and that pitch misses. Orosco's got it 1-0 here with 2 runners on, 2 outs. And it's leadoff hitter Ruben Hernandez at the plate. And the Huskies are threatening again. Left-handed hitter has an opportunity to drive in 2 with second and third occupied. And he takes that pitch up in the zone for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 on, and plenty of danger at this point of this game getting a little bit out of hand. Orosco trying to do the best he can to stymie this threat. And here's the pitch. Swung through by Hernandez. That's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he's going to look to put him away here and get himself out of trouble. Because at this point, as a pitcher from history, all you can really do is rely on yourself to get yourself out of some situations. And here's the pitch. Bounces it. Cole Pilar, defensive greatness of a catcher is a pitcher's best friend. Did well to block that one. Orosco, a strikeout pitcher, 25 strikeouts in his 26 innings coming into this one. Has an opportunity to put him away. Deuces wild with the river coming. And that one is spanked to left field. Man, is it can of corn, as they say. Easy fly ball. Ends the rally here from the Huskies without being able to add to their lead. They leave 2 stranded, but lead the game 5-0 as we go into the bottom of the 6th. Lancers still trail, and they are running out of time. And again, it's Steven Villagrán coming out for his 6th inning of work, who's really been quite efficient and effective here. So it doesn't surprise me that he's going deep into this one. And no defensive changes or lineup changes for either team to this point, other than the pitching change for the Lancers. And it seems ELAC has traveled pretty well out here to Robinson Field at Brookside Park, and can't blame them. If I could be out here more often, I would. Again, for those in the area, it's a great place to go walking, walk your dog, you know, take a hike, bike ride. It's one of the joys of being in Pasadena and Southern California in general. And yeah, looks like Villagrán's just about ready to wrap up his warm-up tosses. And activity in the Lancers bullpen appears to be, let's see, let's get that for you here. Number 11, Benny Olguin, righty out of Alhambra, who also pitched in Thursday's game. So this looks to be back-to-back bullpen outings for the Lancers. Let's see if the lineup can get them back into this. Maybe they can steal another win. There we go. Poked out to the gap left center. It's going to split the outfielders, and he is around second and thinking about third, and he's going to hold up. Cole Pilar leads it off with a stand-up double as he splits the outfielders who actually were positioning him to go to the opposite field. Cole Pilar comes through and starts the rally here for the Lancers in the 6th. That was well struck. Let's take a look at it. As you can see, he gets the pitch on the outside half, opens the hips and sends it flying. Neither outfielder had an opportunity to do anything with that pitch, and he gets a second easily. Even thought about going for the triple, thought against it. And now the Lancers have a runner at second with Vic Cepeda at the plate. Count is 0-1, nobody out. The Lancers starting to get things going, as that was the first solidly hit ball against Villagrán for most of the day. It's Marco Martinez at the plate now with a run-scoring opportunity. Takes that for strike 2. 0-2 is the count. Martinez is up there to hit, does not even take a sign from the coach at third. And Pilar takes a respectable lead at second. Espinoza marking him. No pick play going on. And that is slapped down to the second baseman Soto, who comes up with it, flings it over to Mackie. Pilar gets over to third, but that is the first out of the inning.
Right here, Manzo. Come on now, kid.
Now Manzo has an opportunity to bring in Pilar from third. Martinez gets him moved over. but it does cost them an out. So at this point, it looks like Mackie's up on the grass, and Rodriguez at third is playing him a little bit back, so if it goes to first, they're coming home. Everywhere else, they will take the out for the run. It's a conservative sound strategy. Can't really fault him for having that kind of an idea. 0-1 is the count here, 1 out to Edward Manzo. Billy Grant comes set, and here comes the pitch. Up and in, just missed him for ball 2. Billy Grant reached back for something a little bit extra, and it didn't serve him well. We have 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on here in the bottom of the 6th. Lancers trailing by 5. Edward Manzo at the plate. And the pitch is smacked to right field. Hernandez has it, and he's gonna send Pilar coming home, and the beats the throw as the throw is wide and up the line. And that is an RBI sac fly for Edward Manzo as Cole Pilar comes in with the Lancers' first run of the game, which is good here. Like I said, every comeback starts with 1, and now the Lancers have that 1. Trailing 5-1, and it's Ryan Lewis with nobody on, trying to extend this inning. Should he get on, Vic Cepeda follows behind. And that's first pitch spun in there for a strike. 0-1 is the count, 2 outs, nobody on, as the Lancers have cut the lead to 4. Billy Grant does not appear affected at all. And it's ready to go back to work here on Ryan. Lewis steps off. Okay, not sure they wanted to come to an agreement on what they wanted to do here. And Billy Grant working quick after coming back on the hill. And puts it between the, oh, he's a single digit number. So Ryan Lewis gets hit and will take first. That was quite a thump. No warnings issued at this point, even though it is 4-1. Here we see the replay, and you can see Ryan Lewis just gets it right up in between the scapulae. That is going to be sore in the morning. Ice, rest, and heat is recommended. Maybe a salt bath. But Vic Cepeda finds himself with the runner on. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Billy Grant's showing some cracks. Ryan Lewis takes a large lead at first. Mackie holds him on. Takes that pitch on the inside half for strike 1. On second thought, Stephen Billy Grant goes right back to work. Another first pitch strike. That's been kind of his MO all day. Lewis extends his lead at first. Mackie still holding. Ooh, Matthew Wells wanted that one. Held it there for a split second longer. And we have 1-1, 2 outs with a runner on first.
Drive the ball, Vic.
Are the Lancers threatening here, or are they just going through it? Let's see. Lewis takes an even larger lead. Billy Grant peeks over to wiggle of the glove. And here's the pitch. Number from Cepeda over to Rodriguez, who throws it across the diamond to Mackie to get Cepeda and end the inning here. Although the Lancers did get 1, they still trail 5-1, down by 4 as we head to the 7th inning here at Brookside Park. Got a little bit more of a pep in their step. And coming out on the hill for the Lancers is Ogeen. It will be Benny Ogeen, 6'1" righty. And we will be right back with you here on PCC TV on Jackie Robinson Field here at Brookside Park And join us on YouTube. I'm Alfonso Hernandez, and here we'll be back after this message.
Interested in a career in film, television, or radio? Look no further than Pasadena City College and our TVR program. Our professors know what they're talking about.
I have 25 years experience as a writer, editor, director, and a producer in the television industry. I worked for ESPN Sports, for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Dick Clark Productions.
I have 15 years experience as a producer, a director, a documentarian, and I own a production company that does video production and audio production.
I have had over 20 years experience in the professional audio business, along with post-production for several networks, and also my own private studio.
There's a reason PCC won the Aspen Prize for College Excellence twice.
I am Jeff Dunbar.
I'm James Patrick.
I'm Sarah Barker,
and
I'm a professor at Pasadena City College.
Pasadena City College. Dream. Come. Do.
All right, welcome back here on a Saturday afternoon, Lancer Baseball from Jackie Robinson Field at Brookside Park. And here we have a lineup change for you here. Now on the hill for the Lancers is right-hander Benny Ogie, number 11, out of Alhambra High School. 6'1", 165 freshman. Looking to keep the momentum going for the Lancers, who have cut the lead from 5-0 to 5-1 and still have a shot here. Ogie's made 9 appearances, all in relief, and here's the first pitch of the afternoon. In there for strike one. Ogie has 13 2/3 innings on the season with an ERA of 3.29 with 13 strikeouts, so averaging just under a strikeout per inning with a record of 1-1. And that one sails up a little bit high and evens the count at 1. So there we are. Ogie, another high sock wearing pitcher here, comes through. Takes a little bit off that one and gets a foul ball off and into the forest here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And despite the thin frame, 6'1", 165, Ogie is a bit more of a power pitcher than you would expect. Up and down. Likes to ride that fastball high. And spin that curveball in there for strike 3. Does a really good job hiding the ball. And did so on that one. And that'll bring up Villagran for the Lancers. Today's pitcher has done more on the hill than he has at the plate, but he does have a .336 average on the season and pokes that one out to center. Ariano races back and has it. Let's see if we caught that. Villagran put a charge into it, but not enough to put it out. So let's see what we got here. Let's take a look. Squares it up, knocks it to center, and about 10 yards of a sprint, and Ariano has it. It's another high fly ball into left field, and it's going to be Manzo. Manzo, can of corn, and that, my friends, is what you call a quick inning, as Ogie makes quick work of the Huskies lineup in that one.
Come on, let's score again.
And the Lancers get their side to do what they can as we enter the bottom of the 7th. 5-1 is the score. Lancers trail by 4 for the math majors out there. And it will be Wyatt Coates, Jake Sanchez, and Frank Yokas coming up to the plate for the Lancers in the bottom half of the 7th. And a Stephen Villagran still on the hill for the Huskies. Lancers are running out of time, but they do still have time. Thanks in part to the efforts of Orosco and Ogie. They've kept this game close and given the Lancers an opportunity to try and come back, not just a little bit, but all the way back. But again, it needs base runners. this is definitely going to be one on the offensive end. Because if we're being truthful here, most of the offense for the Huskies has come at the hands of the Lancers defense and pitching. So here we go, bottom of the 7th. It's the DH, Big Wyatt Coates to start it. Freshman out of Upland, hitting .379 on the season. Villagrán starts his 7th inning of work. Fastball up and away. Ball 1.
Come on, Wyatt. Pace it, kid. Get it started, Wyatt.
There we go. Wyatt Coates awaits the pitch. All right, swings at that one and knocks it straight back into the screen as we even up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. And it looks like Jake Sanchez will be replaced by Andrew Scannell as Scannell waits in the on-deck circle. Coates awaits his pitch. And that is poked to right field. Opposite field single for Wyatt Coates as he hard charges through the base, and it will be Andrew Scannell hitting for Jake Sanchez. Scannell, the 6'1", 155 infielder out of Arcadia, will take over for Sanchez as Villagrán looks a little starting to wear down just a bit. And you can see here, takes that outside pitch and just goes with it. Drives it to right field. Rodriguez played it short but did not have a throw at first. So here Scannell finds himself with his first at bat of the game with Wyatt Coates at first, being held on by Mackie. Anthony Soto, the second baseman, is close to the bag, so there is a big opening on the right side of the field. Outfield playing him straight away. And Rodriguez in on the grass. And Scannell wears it on the lower leg. And turnabout is fair play as the Lancers get 2 on with the second hit batsman of the game. For those counting, that's 6 hit batters in this game. No warnings have been issued. I stand corrected. I believe first, there he goes, right in the lower half of the thigh. Epsom salts and icy hot is the remedy here. And Frank Yokas, rarely used outfielder, is an opportunity to keep this rally going. Mackie plays up on the grass, as does Rodriguez. Frank Yokas out of Burbank looking to make something happen. 2 runners on here for the Lancers in the bottom of the 7th. Villagrán a little more deliberate now than he was earlier, steps off.
Good job, kid.
And Yokas does not go far from the box. As I say, looking quite hitterish, ready to swing it.
Come on, Frank.
Rodriguez backs off, he's at the grass. Mackie is on the grass. Second and short, playing him straight up the middle. Outfield slight to pull. And steps off again. Obviously not comfortable with the situation. A little bit rattled. Wide open space on the right side of the field. There's not much being defended on the right side. I'm a little astonished here. Right fielder is in right center. Second baseman is pretty much like 10 feet from the bag, and Mackie is in up on the grass. There's wide open spaces on the right side. If Yokas can poke it, people will run. Squares for bunt, misses it, goes to the backstop. Mackie was charging hard. With no outs, that's the first strike of the at-bat. 2 on. Coach Pat McGee goes to the signs again. Yokas observes and accepts. What will they do? Right here, right now.
Right here, Frank.
This is one of those moments you look forward to if you're a hitter. You got runners on with an opportunity to expand a rally. Yokas awaits. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, takes strike 2. Doesn't agree. Ball's in the outside corner. McGee gives him the universal sign for swing away. Count is 0-2. Villagrán has now put himself in a position of control here. If he can get Yokas, he puts the double play. He's a double play away from getting out of this inning. 0-2 count. Villagrán comes set. And Yokas takes the ball low for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs, 2 on. Scannell at first. Coates at second. And this at bat is taking a bit longer than normal. Villagrán being a little more deliberate than he has been all day. Finally comes set. And here comes the pitch. Yokas thought about it, did not pull the trigger. Curveball on the outside for the strikeout. 5-1. Arellano comes up to what he can do. 23 RBIs with the 24th out there waiting. 390 hitter is Arellano. 438 on base.
Come on, Gabriel. Base hit, Gabriel.
Right place, right time, as they usually say on the field. Can Arellano put it together? Checks the swing. Strike is called anyways as he gets it on the outside corner. 0-1 is the count with 1 down. 2 on. Down by 4 here in the 7th. As the Husky bullpen begins to warm with activity for the first time today. Villagrán still in steady control of this one so far. And it spoke to the right side. Villagrán has it. Nobody at first. He'll have to do it himself. And Arellano is the second out of the inning. Coates and Scannell move up to third and second respectively. And it comes down to Cole Pilar to make something happen here in the 7th. The Lancers could not afford to strand 2 more runners here, as time is coming close to being short. If Pilar can get on, Martinez will follow. Pilar with a stand-up double the last time at bat. Takes first pitch low and outside. 1-0 is the count. The great Cole Pilar has great discipline at the plate. As we highlighted earlier in this game, 23 walks, 9 strikeouts on the season. That is unheard of. And here we have a mound visit. Let's see, just might be an opportunity to go over sequence and play with first base open. Might be a conversation of whether or not Villagrán wants to face Pilar or Martinez, as the activity in the Husky bullpen is not necessarily being done with any kind of immediacy. So I don't believe this is a pitching change. And the umpire's coming out to kind of put the squash on this meeting, as it's taking a little bit longer than the umpire would like. And just as the umpire arrives, the coach turns around and makes his walk back. As suspected, this was merely a strategic discussion, and Villagrán's going to stay in the game, as we have some activity still beginning to get a little bit looser in the Husky bullpen with the righty and a lefty. But it is Villagrán facing Pilar with 2 runners on and 2 outs. 1-0 is the count. And he pumps that one in there for strike 1. The count is even at 1.
That's in the batter's box.
Pilar is ranks 3rd in the state with an on-base percentage of 5.34. And Villagrán gets the one he likes, comes set, and here's the pitch. Low and out of the zone. That is going to be ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs and 2 on. Villagrán appearing to labor just a bit this inning. And still no urgency in the Husky bullpen. Nobody loosening up in the Lancers bullpen, so it looks like Ogins will get the 8th. That ball is up and away for ball 3. 3-1 is the count. If Pilar gets on or draws a walk, it'll be Marco Martinez to follow, potentially with the bases loaded. And the Sands may be running out of time for Steven Villagrán on the hill of this game. It's time he needs to bear down, but Pilar will not allow it. And that is fouled off and to the left, out of play. The count has been run full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The runners will be moving. When Scannell, even if he could, he probably would have scored on any kind of contact, but being that he's going to be running on the pitch, there's no doubt that he scores if this ball is put into play. And here's the payoff pitch. Oh, strike 3 called on the outer half. Paint it black. And the Lancers' chances here in the 7th have faded. 5-1 is the score still as we head to the top of the 8th. Lancers trail 5-1, and it'll be Benny Olguin back out to maintain this deficit 4, which is still within reach. But again, time is running out for the Lancers. And you're watching PCC TV. We'll be right back after this short break.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
And we are back here for the 8th inning. Benny Olguin on the hill for the Lancers, who trail 5-1. We are here at Brookside Park. And that is slapped out to right field. Yokas on and makes the catch with Ariano in close proximity. Good communication keeps people from crashing together. So that is the first out of the inning on the very first pitch of the inning. And again, that'll be exactly what the Lancers need to do here in the 8th. Keep this deficit at 4. As you see, it's well struck. Ariano was cheating towards the right side, but Yokas was well positioned as well. Can of corn, as they say. No real trouble. And we are back here live, and it's 1 strike, no balls, with 1 out here in the 8th. Nobody on. Benny Olguin facing his second hitter here in the 8th inning. And gets out to a quick 2-strike, no balls count. 0-2, and there's people in the Huskies bullpen, but no activity at this point, so it might be Steven Villagrán's to try to finish. And that curveball is bounced in the dirt. At the plate for the Huskies is Anthony Soto, the second baseman. who's had himself a really good game with the glove today. Pokes that past the diving Scannell and into the outfield. Scannell taking over for Jake Sanchez, and then Sanchez was replaced by Ryan Lewis at short. So it is Ryan Lewis at short for the Lancers and Andrew Scannell taking over at second. And that leaves the Huskies with the runner on first with Brandon Hernandez at the plate. Anthony Soto taking a big lead at first. Vic Cepeda holding him on. Ogin comes to the plate, and that's fouled off to the right side and into the forest. And that's going to be the first strike here in the at-bat. 0-1 is the count, 1 out, 1 on in the top of the 8th. And Ogin throws to first and almost gets him. Vic Cepeda slaps on the tag. Not in time as Soto gets back relatively easy. And in the Huskies bullpen, it's Mario Huizar warming up, right-hander out of Sierra Vista, looking as though he might be taking over for Villagran in the bottom of the 8th. Ogin here in the top of the 8th tries to get Soto again with the throw, makes it even closer this time. And the count is still 0-1. Brandon Hernandez has not left the box. Still awaits his second pitch of the at-bat. And for the third straight throw over, Ogin gets Soto to not even have to slide. Really reduced the lead on 3 successive throws, trying to control that run game, and Soto is right back out there with a huge lead. Ogin takes a look, comes to the plate, and Soto fakes the run. Throw by Pilar. Oh, most had him, but throw sails on him a bit. Cepeda had him picked. Soto got off a little too far and got himself in no man's land, but the throw was just a bit offline. You might think twice about getting that far off again, as the count is now 1-1 with 1 out. Benny Ogin comes set. Soto still with a huge lead at first, and he's taken off. Pilar double clutches. The throw is late, and Soto has it stolen. Huskies now have a runner at second with 1 out. Anthony Soto had that one stolen relatively easy, and Brandon Hernandez now has an opportunity to drive in a run with 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 8th. And here's the pitch. Wide and outside. That is 3 balls, 1 strike. And here we go. This is kind of a tipping point at this point in the game. It's the bottom of the lineup. You don't want to issue any free passes here. Ogin's going to have to bear down. And that is low and outside. Free pass to Hernandez, and up comes Daniel De La Pena. Not a gambling man, but you can pretty much expect him to square around at least once during this at-bat. Benny Ogin has found himself in a bit of trouble here with 2 runners on, 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Soto at first, Hernandez at first, Soto at second. And that pitch is up.
We got those.
Ball 1. And Ogin begins to feel some pressure here. Can he find the zone? Yes, he does. 1-1 is the count, evens it up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2 runners on here in the top of the 8th. Lancers trail by 5. Benny Ogin trying to keep it that way. And activity in the Huskies bullpen has ceased again. And here's the pitch. Taken outside, just missed the plate there, and that's going to be 2 balls, 1 strike. a little bit of activity going on in the Lancers bullpen. Somebody gets up, and that is somebody. Well, actually, it's here. Hogan comes set, and here's the pitch. That is up for ball 3. 3-1 is the count. And Hogan's pitched himself into a jam here with not much. There we go. That's strike one. Should be objective, but as a former pitcher myself, you really want to pull for the pitcher when he's having some struggles. 3 balls, 2 strikes is the count. And PJ Goble has begun warming up in the Lancers bullpen. Benny Hogan looking to get himself out of this one here. Count is full, 1 out. And time is called as the Huskies coach calls timeout. And everybody comes together here right in front of the Huskies dugout. Kind of want to get some strategy, I guess, but I've rarely seen this, if ever, where timeout is called and everybody on base, including the hitter and the coaching staff, convene. Umpire encroaching on the meeting here, and it's going to be separated. And Soto returns to second. Hernandez returns to first. The coaches return to their spots. And De La Peña has a better understanding of what's expected of him, I would imagine. And Benny Hogan conversing with Ryan Lewis as to who has the ball. And still, PJ Goble, number 33, continues to warm up in the Lancers pen just in case. Hogan with the pitch. Runners are on the move. And that is ball 4. Bases are now loaded. And it'll be the catcher, Matthew Wells, coming to the plate as Coach Pat McGee goes to the mound. The infielders join him, as does Cole Pilar. This meeting should be rather lengthy, as the Lancers pitching staff has really let them down this afternoon with bevy of hits, batsmen, some walks, very few hits from the Huskies lineup. So it's kind of a mess of their own making here for the Lancers. And Coach McGee's going to leave him in. This is going to be Hogan's to get himself out of. And he will have the catcher, Matthew Wells, at the plate with the bases loaded. 1 out. Nowhere to put him. Cepeda's going to play up, as is Martinez. The infield is, the center of the infield is rare, so, yeah, about average. And that one is pulled to the outside corner for ball 1. Grip that fastball a little bit tight there. Outfielders playing straight away. Goble continues to warm up in the pen. Hogan comes set, and the pitch. Matthew Wells checks, swing, doesn't hold up. And that is strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases juiced. And the weight of the game in the balance. Benny Hogan with the pitch. Bounces it. Great stop by Pilar. And we are even. Actually, it's 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out still. Lancers' defensive setup in the infield looks like they will be going home if they have the opportunity. Possibly play 2 up the middle. And that is fouled off into the screen. And we're even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases still loaded. Benny Hogan with an opportunity to get a huge strikeout here. Coach McGee moves the outfield alignment as he come a little bit more shallow, trying to cut down the run if necessary. And Matthew Wells tried to lead into that one. It breaks over his shoulder and in for a strike. Huge strikeout for Benny Ogeen in this one. Now he faces Ruben Hernandez with an opportunity to get out of this one unscathed. As I say, it's a moment to bear down. Right here, intensity. Ogeen looking to get him through. Oh, squeezed on that one with a fastball up in the zone for ball one. Bases are still loaded. Leadoff hitter Ruben Hernandez at the plate, hitting .375 on the season. Ogeen set. And that one is spanked towards the middle. Ryan Lewis has it, flicks it to Scannell, and he's safe. Oh, tremendous effort by Ryan Lewis to scoot the ball to Andrew Scannell. And he just beats the throw. De La Pena just beats the throw to second. And if you take a look at the play right here, Hernandez pokes it into the hole. Lewis gets into the gap, has it in his glove, flicks it over to Scannell, and De La Pena just beats it. And that'll be another run for the Huskies here. 6-1 is the deficit. That's fouled off the hitter for strike one. That's just a bad break for the Huskies there. The deficit is back up to 5. Ogeen comes set. Bases are still loaded. Rodriguez the hitter. And he pulls that one foul. 0-2 is the count. And we have 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Lancer's trying to get to the bottom of the 8th. This right here has to be the best pitch for Ogeen in this inning to get the Lancers out of this jam and up to the plate. Ogeen comes set. And Rodriguez swings through it. That'll do it for the Huskies here in the 8th as they strand 3, but get 1. And the Lancers trail 6-1 here in the 8th. As they have 2 more at-bats to eliminate this deficit. And coming back out for the 8th is Steven Villagran, with Weezar continuing to warm up in the Huskies bullpen. Here at Robinson Field, Brookside Park, in the shadows of the Rose Bowl, the Lancers are going to need a Hail Mary in this one. Different sport, same concept. They are going to need a drastic momentum shift in this one, as they trail by 5. And Villagran's almost done with his warm-up tosses here, as for some reason we have a single light on in the outfield. It's the middle of the day and we have a light on. Some things you can't explain. Just like you can't explain how this pitching staff who shut down the Huskies lineup on Thursday night has seemingly gift-wrapped more than a handful of opportunities to the Husky lineup this Saturday afternoon. And here we go, starting it off for the Lancers in their half of the 8th. It's going to be third baseman Marco Martinez facing Steven Villagran, who is now in the 8th. And here comes the pitch. That is a ball in the outside corner, just off the outside corner for 1-0 is the count. And a lefty has replaced Weezar in the bullpen for the Huskies. As soon as we get an identity on that kid, we will let you know who it is. But for now, it's Villagrán on the hill for ELAC. And evens it up 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. And Steve Villagrán has been efficient, if not consistent today. And Martinez pulls it down the third base line. Oh, and it skips past Rodriguez. And Martinez is going for 2 as he hustles and gets there standing up. Marco Martinez with a line bullet down the third base line to start off the 8th for the Lancers with authority. And coming up for the Lancers now, just look at it. He turns on that inside fastball, and Rodriguez cannot handle it as it skips off his glove and into the outfield. And then bounces past the left fielder, which makes it real easy for Martinez to get in there standing. He even thought about going to third at one point. But here we are now back with live action, and it's Edward Manzo with an opportunity to drive in Marco Martinez, who is on second. And the pitch. That one sails on the inside, and we have the first pitch ball. And for the Huskies, over in their bullpen with activity stirring, it is the lefty, number 21, Alex Castellanos, joining Huizar in the bullpen. So despite Villagrán having thrown a really good game, he might be on a short leash here. Manzo trying to make it even tighter. Lays off that one. Ball 2. 2-0 is the count. Martinez is not getting much of a lead off a second. Being watched by Espinoza. Edward Manzo has a lot of space on the right side should he get the opportunity to go that way. Outfield playing straight away for the most part. And here's the pitch. Takes that pitch on the inside for a strike. Upper half, 2-1 is the count. Nobody out. 1 runner on second. And the deficit is 5. Steven Villagrán looks to get the sign from Matthew Wells. And now he gets the one he wants. Comes set. And the pitch. Popped up high from Manzo in the no man's land out in right field, and it goes foul. A long run for everybody involved, and nobody gets to it in time. And Steven Villagrán finds himself with a 2 balls, 2 strike count with a runner on second and nobody out. They've all seen Villagrán for 3 times in the lineup so far. So they've seen everything that he has. So now it's pretty much a guessing game. And here it comes. Oh, and it's spanked to center. On the run is Hernandez, and it gets it. Martinez tags up, going for third. The relay throw comes in. They appeal at second to no avail. Martinez did not leave early. And now finds himself at third after sac fly from Manzo. Out comes ELAC head coach to speak with the umpire about that. Feels very strongly that Martinez left early. But at this level, we do not have instant replay that the umpires can use. So his call will stand despite the coach wanting to plead his case. And feels he's got his money's worth as far as that conversation goes. And we can get back to playing this game. And it is Ryan Lewis at the plate, hitting .320 on the season. And we get to look at it ourselves here. You see the catch, and you see Martinez taking off. It looked good to me. And Ryan Lewis here looking to drive in Martinez with 1 out here in the 8th. That one is up and in, taken for ball 1. Castellanos continues to warm in the Husky bullpen. And Vic Cepeda waits his turn in the on-deck circle for the Lancers. 1-0 count, 1 out. Martinez on third. Wells gets the sign from the bench. Relays it to Villagran, and Villagran comes set and ready to go. Another pitch up and in. 2-0 is the count with 1 down still. This Lancers lineup, if nothing, is patient, utilizing the count. Ryan Lewis, upright stance, awaits the pitch. And here it comes. Lays off the high fastball and has 3-0 is the count here. No sign given, but internally you gotta be thinking it's take. Villagran's been out there quite a bit today, and you may want to make him work just a little bit more. Ryan Lewis scoots up in the box, trying to get on base or drive him in. Takes that inside pitch for a strike 1. 3-1 is the count. And Villagran looks unfazed by the situation. A 5-run lead will do that for you. Ryan Lewis waits the next pitch in the at-bat, and here it comes. Inside pitch, nicks him on the elbow, and he'll take his base at first. Fortunately for Lewis, he had one of those dandy elbow guards, so it just bounces right off. Now coming to the plate, first baseman Vic Cepeda. Freshman out of San Dimas has an opportunity here to drive in a run, maybe 2, if he finds the right gap, hitting .319 on the season. Ryan Lewis is the runner at first. Marco Martinez is on third.
Come on, kid. I know you can do it, Vic.
And we got double barrel action in the Huskies bullpen with Castellanos and Weezar both warming up. Villagran's game still here. And pitch to Cepeda. Taken inside for a strike. Wells had to come out and in to get that one, but called a strike nonetheless. No balls, 1 strike. Designated hitter Wyatt Coach waits on deck. Villagran comes set. And it's Cepeda with a hit down to shortstop Espinoza, who boots it, bounces over his head. A little overconfident on that positioning. And the spirits of Robinson Field helped the Lancers on that one with a little awkward hop. And you can see he's set position-wise, plays the hop, and the hop just played him. Bounced it up and over the head of Espinoza. And here we have Wyatt Coates with 2 runners on. That last contact did bring in a run, so it is 6-2. And Coates has a chance to make that even less of a deficit. Wyatt Coates, the DH, hitting .379 on the season coming into this one. Takes that fastball on the inside half for strike 1.
Come on, Wyatt, drive the ball, kid.
Big opportunity for the big DH as Villagran's leash gets even tighter. Can he come through in this time of need? And that is poked, oh, just over the outreach arm of Anthony Soto. They have a chance to get him at second, and they get Cepeda at second with a quick throw from the outfield in time to get the first baseman, who had a small hesitation and taken off. Although Soto just missed his glove by a hair. As we can see here in the replay, he leaps and it just clears his glove, giving Cepeda plenty of opportunity to see it, just not react in time because you don't know if he actually is going to come away with it. This is the second mound visit for the Huskies in this inning. So that might be it for Villagrán. Who will be the replacement? We do not know at this point in time. As both the lefty and the righty are warming in the pen, out comes the umpire to converse with to end this conversation. And here we go. The umpire causes them to go, and it looks like Villagrán's staying in the game. He will stay in the game with 2 runners on and 2 outs. Andrew Scannell with an opportunity to drive Villagrán from the hill once and for all here, as the lead is still 6-2 here in the 8th. Lancers threatening. Biggest opportunity of the game to date so far. And Andrew Scannell, recently entered in the game a couple innings ago, has an opportunity here. It takes that first pitch in for a strike. Outfield playing straight away, infield playing similar to the same. Mackie holding Coates on at first. Villagrán comes set, and here's the pitch to Scannell. And that is low and away for ball 1. 1-1, 2 outs, 2 on. Opportunity potentially slipping away from the Lancers here. Scannell trying to grasp it. The pitch. Taken for strike 2. 1-2 is the count. Villagrán has had these Lancer hitters befuddled all day long. It's unreal. He has pounded the inner half of the plate time and time again. Scannell finds himself in a deficit. Taken low, and we are even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuce is wild with the river to come. Scannell looking for an ace high. And here comes the pitch. Oh, he turns on that up and in fastball, and he gets it to the outfield. That'll drive in a run, and that is a single for Andrew Scannell, who clutches up big time. And it'll be Frank Yocas with an opportunity to drive in some more. Deficit cut to 3. 6-3 is the score. You can see here, he takes that pitch on the inner half, pulls the hands in and gets it over the shortstop into the outfield. Driving home that 3rd run of the game for the Lancers. Andrew Scannell, great stick work on that. And now responsibility falls to Frank Yocas. And Villagrán steps off to collect himself. Matthew Wells gets a sign from the bench. And relievers continue to warm up in the Husky bullpen. Frank Yocas, big right-handed hitter, steps in. Coates at second, Scannell at first. Swung through Yocas. That is 1 strike, no balls, 2 outs here. Can Yocas do it? Villagrán getting more and more deliberate with each inning, with each batter. Yocas swings through another fastball. 0-2 is the count. It's a good opportunity to seek contact. Here at Robinson Field, you're not going to hit it out. Get some contact on it. Contact drives in a run. Find a gap, you might get two. Check swing, rolls into play and out of play. As that ball just made it foul as well, jumped out of his crouch. And Yokis had no idea where that ball went. Fortunate turn of events for the Lancers as they get one more opportunity. Count is still 0-2 with 2 outs and 2 on. Lancers have left quite a few runners on base today. Looking to rectify that problem right here, right now. Frank Yoke is hoping to be right man, right time. And Villagrán trying to prevent it all.
See it, Frank. See it, Frank.
Foul ball skied up and out of sight. And it bounces into the seats here. Had a fan thinking about being a hero, second guessed it, safely let it bounce. Probably the right choice.
Come on, Frank. See it,
Frank Yoke is battling here. Still down 0-2. Still has those 2 runners on base.
See it, Frank.
Here's the payoff pitch from Villagrán. And he blows it past him. The Lancers strand 2 more. And we head to the 9th. That makes at least a half dozen runners left on base and for the Lancers. Villagrán is just spinning a web and catching it. So we are here in the 9th inning. Join us for what could be the conclusion on PCC TV.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Okay, we're back here at Jackie Robinson Field at Brookside Park on PCC TV. I'm Alfonso Hernandez, and we are here in the 9th inning, and we have another pitch change for you here. And replacing Benny Ogi will be number 33, 6'1", 230 freshman, out of Monrovia, PJ Goble. Looking to hold the Huskies lineup to 6, as it is 6-3. Lancers trail, and their time is coming close to being short here. Goble can hold them to right where they're at. The Lancers will have an opportunity if they can put up 3 or 4 to either tie or win the game in the 9th. We're glad you're spending time here with us, because if they do it, it'll be one heck of a viewing experience. And that'll do it for Goble's warm-up tosses. As Pilar skips his last throw down to second. And it'll be the aforementioned Steven Villagrán leading it off for the Huskies here in the 9th. Goble is ready, as is Villagrán. Lancers outfield will shift to pull. And it's a high pop-up. Martinez has it measured into the sun and comes away with it. 1 pitch, 1 out. Definitely the way you want to start if you're a reliever. Make quick work of that first hitter. Get your feet under you. And now, coming up for the Huskies is Eric Espinoza. Goble trying to get his second hitter of the inning. Makes quick work. Stutter step and the pitch. Sails low. Bit of a short armor. quick worker. Rock step, double pump, and here it comes. In there for strike one. 1-1 is the count. One out, nobody on. Top of the ninth. Huskies lead the Lancers 6-3. BJ Goble on relief. And that one is poked to left. Manzo on the run, and Manzo gets it on the line. Another fly ball out for the Lancers here. BJ Goble looking pretty comfortable out there. Coming up is Troy Mackie. We got to look at it here. You can see he gets in on the ball, and Manzo runs towards the line and easily gets there. Towards the line, coasts in even. Never had a doubt that he was getting to that ball. Here we go. 1 ball, 1 strike here to number 5, Troy Mackie. And here comes Goble with another pitch. Mackie squares around. That one bounces towards the plate. 2 balls, no strikes with 2 outs. Now is not the time for a lapse in control, as momentum is on the side of the Lancers at this point in time, but momentum is a fickle thing and can always change at a moment's notice. And here comes the pitch. Bunt down the third base line. On comes Martinez. He's going to have to hurry. Gets it over to Cepeda. Not in time as Mackie beats the throw. And that is going to bring up Cole Pilar, switch hitting catcher. And here we go. Doesn't normally get to hit right-handed, but here Pilar faces the lefty Castellanos and gets to step on the other side of the plate. First pitch in for a strike. Waiting in the wings is third baseman Martinez. Pilar quite consistent in his stance. Swings through an off-speed pitch there. 0-2 is the count with 1 out here for the Lancers. Nobody on. 2 outs to do something with here. Castellanos has the one he wants, and here comes the pitch. And that is smacked to the center field. Center fielder going back on it. He has it in range and puts it away for out number 2. Again, the Lancers have seemed to have made good contact against Castellanos. It just hasn't gone in the place where it needs to go. Now the last hope for your Lancers is third baseman Martinez, whose last time up had a stand-up double, looking to keep this rally going. Actually looking to initiate the rally as the Lancers have nobody on base right now, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Things look dire, but, you know, I've seen worse. And look at that. It was put a good jolt into it. And Martinez takes that first pitch for a ball. And Castellanos looking quite cool. Right fielder shifts deep into the center field gap. Martinez thought about swinging on that one, and it's in there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As the Lancers are, oh, it's 1-1. Sorry for the correction there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. That pitch is taken up high for ball 2. We're back at 2 balls and 1 strike. And should Martinez get on, it's Edward Manzo to follow. Castellanos in the set, goes to the windup, and the pitch. Just missed it as he fouls it straight to the back of the screen. And now, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, deuces wild, and nobody on the river, as the Lancers are down to their final strike. This could be it. Thank you for joining us. And that is low and in the dirt. Count has ran full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on here in the bottom of the 9th. Alex Castellanos trying to close it out for the Huskies. Marco Martinez trying to keep the inning alive. Deep breath from Castellanos, and here's the pitch. Looks at it go by, and that is ball 4. Martinez extends the inning, and it's Edward Manzo coming to the plate. And representing the tying run looks like Ryan Lewis on deck would represent the tying run. Edward Manzo needs to get on to extend the inning, give Lewis a chance to tie it. Almost no lead for Martinez at first. First pitch is outside for a ball. Wells steps out to calm Castellanos a bit, telling him to slow himself down. Castellanos comes set. Nobody holding on Martinez. Manzo lets that pass, and we are at 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, 1 on. The patience of the Lancers lineup might come into play here. They are well adept at taking counts deep. And takes that one on the inner half for a strike. 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Edward Manzo. Alex Castellanos looking to close it out for the Huskies. Wide open spaces on the right side of the diamond. Fouled off into the back, and the Lancers are down to their final strike yet again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on first. This could be it. Lancers down to their final strike. Castellanos with the pitch. And that is out into the right center field gap. Center fielder strides over, and that will do it on 3 fly balls here in the 9th. The Huskies defeat the Lancers 6-3. And the tradition of the team-on-team handshakes, as the Huskies are in victory formation here. Mutual sign of respect from the coaching staffs as they meet at home plate. So that'll do it here. It's 6-3 is your final score at Jackie Robinson Field on Brookside Park. I'm Alfonso Hernandez, and this has been PCC TV's Saturday Afternoon Baseball, a production of Pasadena City College television and radio program. It's been my pleasure to bring you the action here. Thanks again, and have a good day. PCC TV.